What if I told you that everything you've ever wanted in life, the career, the relationships, the financial freedom, the happiness, could be yours with just one simple action? What if the difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't about getting luckier or waiting for the perfect moment? I want to share with you a concept that completely shifted the way I think about success and personal growth. It's a piece of wisdom I learned from Jim Rohn. This isn't just motivational fluff. This is a fundamental truth about how the universe operates. And once you understand it, you'll wonder how you ever lived without this knowledge. This idea changed me, and I believe it can change you too. The concept is so simple it might shock you, so powerful that it can literally reshape your entire existence. Today I want to share with you Jim Rohn's revolutionary insight on how to get whatever you want in life. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a completely different perspective on what's possible for your future. The revolutionary discovery. Jim Rohn discovered something that changed everything about how he approached success. In his research on achievement, he found that the answer to getting whatever you want could be summed up in one word. Just one word. Ask. That's it. The secret to getting whatever you want is learning the art of asking. Now, before you dismiss this as too simple, let me explain what Jim meant. This isn't about begging or pleading. This is about understanding a fundamental principle of how life works. As Jim discovered, there's an ancient formula that says, ask and you shall receive. Think about it. You need to become more than just a good worker. You need to become a good asker. Because here's what most people do wrong. They work incredibly hard. They show up every day. They put in the effort, but they never clearly ask for what they want. They never define it, never request it, never claim it. Jim realized that most people are good workers, but poor askers. And that's exactly what keeps them stuck. The 3 pillars of asking and receiving. Jim identified 3 crucial points about asking that can completely transform your life. First, asking starts a unique mental and emotional process. When you ask for something, truly ask with clarity and intention, something remarkable happens in your mind. It's like pushing a button that activates machinery you didn't even know existed. Jim admitted he didn't fully understand how it works, but he knew it worked. And here's the thing. You don't need to understand every mechanism to benefit from it. Some people spend their entire lives studying the roots while others are out there picking the fruit. Which would you rather be doing? When you ask, you set in motion forces both within yourself and around you. Your mind becomes alert to opportunities. Your subconscious starts working on solutions. Your awareness expands to notice possibilities you previously missed. Second, receiving is automatic. This is perhaps the most profound realization. If receiving is automatic, then what's the real problem? It's not that the universe isn't willing to give, it's that we're not asking. Jim pointed out that failure to ask might be one of your major problems. Think about it. How many people do you know who work incredibly hard, but never clearly define what they want? They get up every day, they put in the effort, but there's not a scrap of paper anywhere with their goals written down. They're good workers but poor askers, and that's what keeps them frustrated and unfulfilled. Third, there's plenty to go around. Success isn't in short supply. It's not ration. You don't arrive at some cosmic window only to find out it's all gone. Success is like an ocean. Vast, abundant, limitless. But here's what Jim observed. Some people go to this ocean of opportunity with a teaspoon. They think small, ask for little, and that's exactly what they receive. If you understand that success is an ocean, why would you show up with a teaspoon? Trade your teaspoon for at least a bucket. Better yet, bring the biggest container you can find. The 2 ways to ask that change everything. Jim identified 2 essential ways to ask that can dramatically improve your results. Ask with intelligence. This means being clear and specific about what you want. Don't mumble through life hoping things will somehow work out. Get precise. How much money do you want to earn? By when? What kind of relationship do you want? What does your ideal lifestyle look like? What size house? What color? How soon? When you define and describe what you want with clarity, something magical happens. Your goals become like magnets. They pull you in that direction. And the better you describe them, the stronger the pull becomes. Most people's goals are so vague they couldn't recognize success if it knocked on their door. I want to be happy. I want to make more money. I want a better relationship. These aren't goals, they're wishes. Intelligent asking means getting specific about every detail of what you want to create. Ask with faith. This is the childlike part of the equation. You need to believe you can get what you want with the faith of a child, not the skepticism of an adult. Adults are too skeptical. They've been disappointed too many times. They've learned to expect less to avoid disappointment. But children believe anything is possible. Jim's formula was brilliant. Make plans like an adult and believe in them like a child. Combine adult intelligence with childlike faith, and incredible things start to happen. The 90-day challenge. Jim challenged people to try this approach for just 90 days. Just 90 days. He said you can always go back to your old ways if it doesn't work. But here's what happens in those 90 days when you start asking with intelligence and faith. Your mind becomes focused on what you want instead of what you don't want. You start noticing opportunities that were always there, but invisible to you before. You begin taking actions aligned with your clearly defined goals. People start responding to your clarity and conviction. The world, as Jim said, admires the doers. But doers are people who first became clear askers. Why most people never ask? So why don't more people apply this simple principle? Fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish, fear of wanting too much. We've been conditioned to think that asking for what we want is somehow selfish or unrealistic. But Jim understood something profound. The universe responds to clarity and conviction. It responds to people who know what they want and aren't afraid to ask for it. The tragedy isn't that people aim too high and miss. The tragedy is that they aim too low and hit. Jim Rohn's wisdom about asking has the power to transform your life. The question isn't whether this works. Countless people have proven it does. The question is whether you'll have the courage to apply it. Remember, ask with intelligence, ask with faith, and ask boldly, knowing that success is an ocean and you deserve more than a teaspoon's worth. Your future is waiting for you to claim it. But first, you have to ask. What will you ask for today? If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the world is waiting for you to become not just a good worker, but a good asker. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.